Welcome to the Bears on Tap Offensive Line Film Room, bringing you all 22 views and breakdowns on the Chicago Bears offensive line. Presented by Quentin Q. Crisco and the one and only Ron Luce.
And welcome back to another episode of Bears on Tap, the Trench film breakdown episodes. I'm in a new office. I'm not sure where I talk with my hands a lot. I just bumped into the lamp next to me. I just moved into a new house. I'm still getting set up. My name is Quentin Crisco. I am joined by Ron Luce. Ron, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic now. That was a hilarious way to start this show. It looks good, man. I was gonna say congratulations on the move. It looks like a sweet spot, the new studio look.
Yeah, I had to go into turbo mode to get some stuff up before this podcast tonight, but I was like, I can't be going up with I got to get the Butkus jersey up at least, was my mentality.
I would have genuinely been terrified if I looked and there was no Butkus jersey behind you. I would question a lot of things about the state of the world.
But Ron, we have a very specific thing we're talking about, and guys, stick with us. We're going to get some all 22 up here. We're going to we're going to go through the tape, but we are very specifically asking one question. Is Gervon Dexter bad, good, fine at run defense? And I ran this poll a few weeks ago, got somewhere around like 3,000 or 4,000 views.
Hell yeah.
Only 32 votes. You know how hard it is to only get 32 votes on a poll, Ron? Everyone loves to vote on Twitter. Everyone loves to make their opinion heard on there when there's no consequence for it. No one will ever know what you voted. 32. I was shocked that no one was giving any opinions on this. And the question here we have up on the screen is fill in the blank. Bears defensive tackle Gervon Dexter is a blank run defender. The options being good, fine, poor, and bad. I base it on my film grading scale. Typically, great would be an option too, but I figured there weren't going to be many answers for great in there, so I just kind of left it out. But the results were 3.1% people said he's a good run defender, 50% said he's fine, 37.5% said he's poor, and 9.4% said he's bad. There was like one vote for good at the very end of this. And up until then, I was like, because I put this out there with this episode in mind. And I was like, I was like, rubbing my hands together going like, it's 50-50 between fine and not fine, like, and poor or bad until that one good vote came in. But still, we're sitting here going like 46%, 47% of Bears fans are saying that Gervon Dexter is a below average run defender. And I'm not sure I agree. I might agree with the 50% that say he's fine. I think he's probably somewhere slightly above fine. But let's get to some of the comments that we had on it. So we had Duke Coughlin here saying that he has to be a run stuffer at Florida, which is why he wasn't a late first round pick. His build and potential as a pass rusher was always the selling point. We had Nader Sabit in the comments saying he's frequently late and too high off the snap. He added 15 pounds last year. That slowed him down, and that he's a pass rusher first when he's allowed to attack. But asked him to read and react is a recipe for disaster, which I do somewhat agree with. But I think it's more the other way around. I think that he's a better run defender than pass rusher. Even I think his pass rushes, it's more about what his frame can do in a schemed pass rush. But we had Ed Gallagher saying he's going with poor, but I think he's just like meh. And then Joseph Felicelli saying that his get off or lack thereof prevents him from being an average run defender. Now, I went back and I took a look at some of his scouting reports, including my own from college, from Florida. And, my comment was extremely powerful, wide base with upper body strength to truly get lift on blockers. And he's capable with his anchor against double teams. I think I worded that very carefully. I remember he's not good against them yet, but he has a frame that is capable to anchor against them. And then Lance Zierlein had that he has two gapping qualities to build on, similar to what I think I was saying with the capable anchor. Able to stay square to the line and mind his gap, And then Bleacher Report, I think Brandon Thorne might have still been doing them back then, was saying that power for D tackle. I don't think he does anymore, but he was saying powerful extension as a run defender, hard to move versus one-on-one blocks, and maintains a wide base. Also said he recognizes down blocks well to redirect his eyes and hands and avoid getting washed inside. Disrupts the path of offensive linemen working up to the second level. And that's something that I feel like I noticed as well in his Florida tape was he was just a pain in the ass for offensive linemen. Now, on the negatives in his scouting reports, what I said was still has a lot to figure out in regard to shedding blocks and finishing. Inconsistent technique leads to inconsistent results. And this is all in regard to his run blocking or his run defense, I should say. Zerline said that he allows run blockers to take the action to him. Double teams can take him for a ride, content to play under stretch blocks rather than fighting for positioning. And then Bleacher Report said that he stands above his stance, causing issues, taking on double teams and combo blocks. He'll get reached and scooped in the NFL. It's one of the things that he thought he saw, or that he did see. And then that he lacks the get off and agility to maintain his gap laterally. I do think we've seen some of that last one in the NFL with the agility and being able to maintain space laterally, but also there are moments where it looks good. But finally, the last thing from Bleacher Report was that his hand placement is a little wide, limiting his ability to extend and separate from blocks. Now, before we get to the tape, I just want to take a quick look at the numbers. And the more and more I've watched tape and looked at stats and thought about this, I think run defense is so utterly misunderstood by stats. I really do. I think the stats do a very poor job of truly framing what a player is doing on run defense. But we look at this, last 2 years, Dexter's played an above average number of run snaps. In 24, he was an above average PFF grade in run defense. 60.3 doesn't sound like it would be above average, but the average last season for a defensive tackle with 150 plus run snaps was 55.9. So it's really, it's a qualm I've had with PFF run defense grades. There are no good run defenders at defensive tackle, according to PFF. There's 10 of them.
Yeah.
But keeping going on, basically most of the stats that we have up here, Dexter was below average in them last year. In 24, he was above average in most of the stats. And in 23, he was below average in most of them. But a lot of missed tackles this last year, which I think goes heavily against their PFF grade. But Ron, what was the point you were about to make?
No, I think you're 100% spot on, Q, in terms of just how to grade run defense. So much of it relies on, especially I think for D tackles more than maybe any other position, so much of it relies on what they're asked to do in that style of defense or in that system, or, they have a role to play, especially I feel like in a Dennis Allen scheme. And that's where we really get to see that. This is a fascinating topic, Q. You brought this one to the table a hot minute ago. And
I've been thinking about this one for over a year. I've been I got to do an episode about Gervon Dexter's run defense. And it's not because I think he's this exceptional run defender or anything. It's just because I see him framed as a bad run defender way too often. I think that's way too harsh.
Yeah.
But anyways, I watched 5 games of just Gervon Dexter run defense snaps, and I pulled out every play that I thought was either I would grade as a positive or a negative. And here we've got 6 minutes of those plays ready to rock. Now, I believe on this one, Dexter is right here on the nose, which this is kind of where I expect the Bears to play him on early downs this year when they can, when they want to get into this zero tech front. I think this is where he can really eat as a run defender. But let's see how this rep goes for him. And this was in the Rams playoff game. You see he gets some nice push on Coleman Shelton there. And then he struggles to disengage some, but he ends up, one of the things that I always like about Dexter in run defense, and it's not something that is really, I don't know, it's not a skill. It's just a trait, or not even a trait, a mentality. He just hustles to the football always.
Yeah.
Like this, you see he gets in, he holds ground against the double team there. doesn't get taken out by Avila, doesn't, prevent keep the linebacker clean either necessarily, but he doesn't lose ground at least while he's really controlling the point against Shelton, the center. And then he gets out and goes, and it's a couple yards downfield, but he's finding the football and making at least the tackle on it, which it's like 7 yards downfield at this point. But I feel like this is a borderline plus rep from him because he controlled the line of scrimmage, didn't get taken off his spot, and found the football.
Yeah, and I think a big piece of it too that people need to keep in mind, because it's certainly easy to misinterpret you. I think the point you're making, just of the sense, 7 yards downfield, he's making the tackle. Well, what is he being asked to do, right? If he's being asked to just sit and maintain a gap at the line of scrimmage, D tackles, I think more than any other position, tend to just kind of have to, pardon my French, but eat shit in order to let other aspects of the defense flourish. You just got to take up lanes. You just got to be a problem in the middle. Make them but try to bounce it outside where we can corral it. They don't want to get gashed up the middle. At least that's what it seems like when they play Gervon Dexter at nose tackle. Is that his role? If it is, absolutely. And sometimes the offense is going to win too, man. And at least you appreciate the hustle when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Him getting
one of the things that I also grow to appreciate the more I'm watching him, and there are his fair share of reps where he does end up on the ground in here, but his contact balance is really impressive. There are times where he's walking away and leaving a guy or two on the ground, and it's like he didn't necessarily have a good rep, but it's like, how did he stay upright there? Which I do think holds value in run defense, like just being able to stay upright and keep fighting towards the football.
Oh, most definitely.
Let's go ahead and keep it moving here. So we have another one against the Rams. This time he is at like a 3 tech. Let's get him highlighted here for everybody. Going up against Kevin Dotson, who's one of the best, number 69 here, one of the better run blocking guards in the NFL. Let's see what he's got for us. He's able to really sets a nice base, gets his hands into the block, does some 2 gap there, finds the ball carrier and whips him back. Like, that is a very nice run rep in my mind. Good. Again, considering Kevin Dotson, like, I'm very happy with that rep.
Yeah, your goal as a defensive tackle is to establish and maintain the line of scrimmage. Can't give. You got to keep the angles down. You got to reduce run lanes. Stalemates, oftentimes on defense, especially for your interior guys, that's a victory in this sport. There's a reason you have linebackers. Everybody wants to spill everything to the linebackers. Let them be the playmakers. You just got to let the big guys do their job and be big. And Gervon Dexter is really good at being big.
Yeah, I just think he's a pain in the ass for O-line coaches, frankly. Because he's big, strong, and nasty. Like,
yeah.
And there's something to be said for that as a run defender.
And that also beats you up over the course of a game. We saw the Bears successfully beat teams up last year, and I think most people think about it offensively. The offensive line was incredible. They pounded the rock. They would beat the crap out of you. But the Bears defense also beat the crap out of you. Even if you got your points, like, you weren't walking out of there without a fight. There's a reason the record for opponents following a game against the Bears was 2-14, I think, this year, or 2-13-1 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
They beat the crap out of you. And there's value, exactly like you said, Q. There's value in that, because when the fourth quarter comes around, they're not at full strength because of what you're able to do, just, consistently being physical. It's easy to give up when you're tired. And the Bears just keep coming at you one after another.
That's one thing with, like, I feel like Dexter fits very clearly in what the Bears are looking for from a mentality standpoint. Physically, I don't think that physically, even like mental processing wise, I don't think he's exactly what the Bears want at D tackle.
Mhm.
But from a what's in here and motor aspect and love of the game aspect, I think he's very clearly what they are searching for on their defense. So it's kind of a tough mix there, like as far as evaluating how he fits. But I think he's like, I'm really interested to see how they handle his contract after next year, whether they bring him back or not. Because I think he's a guy that you're sitting there going like, he does everything the way that you want it to be done from a effort standpoint, from a love of the game standpoint.
Absolutely.
And Ron, I love this rep.
This is a good rep.
I love this rep from him against the wide zone, like just bullying the Roger Rosengard in here, who's a quality right tackle.
Absolutely.
It lined up in a bit wider of an alignment on this, I think. Or was he a 3? Yeah,
he's in the 3.
He was a 3 here. But Rosengarten overtakes him, maybe gets a little overzealous in overtaking him. And Dexter just takes that left hand, puts it on the left shoulder. Or I'm sorry, not Rosengarten, it's the guard. Falele. Falele gets out wide in front of him. And he just takes that left hand, puts it on the back shoulder and says, okay, well, you're going to keep going that way and I'm going to control my gap.
Yeah, the purpose, CQ, and this is the fun part about breaking down defensive line, is we can tell you what the O-line's doing in this scenario and why this is such an impressive play. As an O-line coach, I would be teaching my guys you're hooking that shoulder, but you want to continue getting vertical movement as well. That's what's going to create those cutback lanes down the field, which we saw the Bears. That's how you get explosive plays. You need those 20-yard down the field, cutback blocks, or even just 10 yards or even just 5 yards, right? You got to layer the defense in order to create those two-way goes. As a defensive tackle, the worst thing you can do to me as an offensive lineman is get my shoulder and then just push me laterally down the line of scrimmage.
Into the running back.
Yeah, because chances are, if that running back tries to make a cutback, it's going to be to your hole. And because you're coming down the line flat, you're reducing a big play. That's impressive. You were preventing that layering in short yardage to create that first cutback lane for the back because he's moving laterally down the line of scrimmage. Now, again, most people would look at this play and just be like, wow, he just got lucky. He's in the right place at the right time. Yeah, he's in the right place at the right time. But that is because of the effort he's giving. He's technically, they're trying to reach him fully and let Rosengarten take over.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah, I do think this
Rosengarten,
who does he peel off to? The backer? To Edmonds. Yeah, he peels off on the Edmonds here.
Like in a perfect world, you would love, Rosengarten to be overtaking him.
Right.
It's a great play by Gervon.
If Edmonds flows more aggressively towards Falele, right? Like that's where Rosengarten would have overtaken him, I would think.
Probably. I think it's a fine play by Edmonds too, because he very clearly sees that Gervon's winning.
Oh, yeah.
And just sits backside and says, I'm just going to take away anything.
The best thing you can ask for a defensive tackle is to make your linebacker right.
Oh, for sure.
Make their job easy, and I think he did there. Not that Edmonds made the play here, but it didn't even reach it,
Yeah, it wasn't even going to reach that point. And again, because he's in the position that he's in, Gervon Dexter completely takes away a massive cutback lane that could have been there.
And one thing that no one wants to hear, because you don't pay a guy to do this as much as you paid him. But it's a hell of a rep from Deo.
Yeah.
Hell of a rep from Deo as a run defender. And he's overpaid. You don't pay him the type of money you paid him to do this, but it doesn't change the fact that he does this. And that is very hard to beat when you're pushing the left tackle 4 yards back into the backfield and controlling the run lane they're trying to hit.
100% holds a strong edge, man. There's something to be said when you keep the cluster in the middle of the field moving.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get back our Dexter goggles back on. So we got him at what would that be like?
It'd be a 3.
Kind of a 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like somewhere between a 3
borderline.
and a 2.
Yeah, that's what I was like. It's so rare you see a true 2 that my brain was like, wait, it's not 2i, but it's not quite a 3. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, they're just telling him outside shoulder of the guard. No matter the splits, you're not in a gap. You're just on that shoulder.
This was another one where he's just able to muck it up. They run right at him here.
Yeah.
And truly, I think throughout the season, teams stopped running at him as much. They actually started targeting Billings more, especially on wide runs to Billings' side. But like he does a really nice job here again against Falele, who's not a stud or anything. He's questionably a solid starter, maybe. Linderbaum gets a nice little combo block on him here. Hand placement seems good from Linderbaum, but ultimately Dexter holds his ground and stays in balance against a very powerful man in Daniel Falele, who's got his hooks in him, and ultimately plugs it up and gets the run stop here.
Yeah, another quality play. I think 2Q, this skill set that we've seen Gervon display in terms of his lateral ability in the run game and really being able to hold a hard edge or completely just wipe out a potential clean block. This is disruption. Like,
yeah,
not the sexy disruption that shows up on the pass sheet, but this still works. And I think more than ever, Q, we're seeing the importance of their D-line working the way that DA wants it to, because they added the speed now to really start to take away these backdoor cuts, get in those lanes. So these big guys can, as long as they can hold the line of scrimmage, you got a chance on every play because you're going to be able to chase things down to the outside.
Yeah. And I think that's where I think Billings was really tough for the Bears last year. I love Andrew Billings.
Yeah, his
inability watching his
to
tape
laterally
last
move
year hurt me. Yeah.
Yep. That's the thing. Like DA in the run game, he just wants these guys to hold the line. Just hold the line, create the gaps for your playmakers. Right? We see he brings safeties up into the box all the time. There's a reason for that. They become hybrid linebackers. Oh, look, for example, there's Kevin Byard literally in the box on this play.
Yeah. And I promise you guys, these aren't all good reps. Like there are negative reps. Like anything I saw as positive or negative, I did pull the clip of and throw in here. It just there's more positive than negative.
You're gonna break our heart a few times, Q.
Yeah, they are in here, and I think truly, his PFF grade comes down to a few games where he was like very average with one or two really bad missed tackles, and it just like tanked his grade. But then otherwise, it was like he did his job. And there's some games where I think he was dominant at times, in moments as a run defender. This is one of those missed tackles.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Q. I think you could even maybe say that's
actually, I'm sorry. He makes this tackle. I thought this was a different one.
And I'll tell you what, Q, though. What makes this even more impressive then is look at this rep from Billings. This isn't a great rep from Billings.
There was a lot. They really targeted Billings in the wire, like getting him moving laterally.
This is also an absolutely beautiful display from Tyler Linderbaum of, if you want to control a big guy, find him on the hip. He does a nice job swaying Gervon to the outside here and being able to push off up to the next level. Again, there's a reason he just got paid like $20 million a year. This is good. See, somehow we'll turn this into an all-line show, Q. Always. I can always turn
it'll come back to it.
But this is still very respectable by Gervon. He's setting the cut back there.
Right. I mean, so Linderbaum, he gets that movement on the hit. That's kind of like, as you've said many times, you get the hands in the right spot there. It's pretty much just gonna happen for most guys. But he plants and stops it again against Daniel Falele, who is probably one of the strongest guards in the NFL.
Hmm.
Not one of the best, but one of the strongest, I think, is a very fair statement. And he's able to detach and at the very least, like the play might have given up 5 yards, but he made Derrick Henry feel the hit.
Absolutely. Beat down that running back.
Okay, now we got him in like a 2-tech again here.
Yeah, looks like
2,
a 3.
3. Okay.
I'd comfortably call that a 3.
Okay. Yeah, I guess because his helmet, you look at the helmets, right?
Yeah, that'll tell you what
shoulder on the helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Billings isn't a true 1 here.
Yeah.
Like I'd call that a true 1.
Again, like he just bench pressed Falele into the backfield.
I mean, he's a strong dude.
I will say this Ravens game, this was his best run defense game of the year. He made Daniel Falele like work.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're seeing you're kind of starting to see what they're expecting from their D tackles. It's going to be fascinating to see, man. You know who I think is going to pair really well with Gervon next year, at least on a situational play. I think Vandenberg.
I think Vandenberg, if he can get up to speed, which is a massive, right? Like he is very, very raw. But I think they vision him as their like pass rushing nose tackle. They're Brian Brzee. Like that. I think that's what they really want him to be. And Ron, this can't be the Deo Odeyingbo show. This is another bomb.
Another good one
run rep from Deo. Again, this does not justify his contract. The guy can't rush the passer, but man, he is a demon against the run.
I hope next year that like somehow, some way he ends up with 12 sacks. I for the pure irony of it. Of a motivated Dio.
I don't know if he has the sacks in him, if I'm being honest, but you know what? If he has a bunch of TFLs, I'll take it because the dude can play the run. There's no question about that.
Yeah, he'll find a way to bring his value.
Yeah. But, okay, here we got him in a 3-tech on the other side. So he's not against Falele here. He's up against Andrew Voorhees, I believe is who the Ravens have there. Caleb Williams' former blocker from USC. And, again, we just see Dexter bullying him. He's just bullying him into the backfield.
Just bench presses him.
Yeah. And, again, this was Dexter's best game of the year, like from a run defense standpoint. So you can't like put all the chips in this basket, but that's why we covered 5 different games here.
Yep. But you can see it when it's at its best, man.
Yeah. And Baltimore is not a soft offensive line. They're not they weren't great last year, but they're not a team that just lays down for you either.
No, they beat people up, man. They do a great job in terms of offensive.
This was the one I was thinking with Rosengarten, where I mean he just like arm bars. Dexter's a brawler, man. He just wants to punch people and hurt people. Like
he just wants to inflict pain. Because I'll tell you what, Q, this was still that George Warhop coached Ravens O-line, and they would beat people up. They were bullies. Yeah. It's a well coached football team, Q. Even though they had a really bad season, like they were still well coached.
I mean, you're talking a quality right tackle, NFL right tackle here, number 70, Rosengarten, just getting manhandled on this. Like you want to down block, you want to ask your right tackle to down block a defensive tackle, and this is the result you get. That's tough to live with.
Oh yeah.
And absolutely. I'm not trying to knock Rosengarten. I just think that's a hell of a job by Dexter on this play.
100%. Yeah, this is a bully play, man. This Q, this might, again, I think we're starting to see what they envision. Like, I'm convinced all 4 of their D linemen are going to look the exact same.
Yeah. They want no positions on the D line.
Yeah.
They want all four to be the same dude.
Just to look the exact same. And that's why they're so hard to find good ones of, because like they're all run guys. They're all just big bullies. They're all just big bodies.
I also love the way that he gets his right forearm into Falele's back and just uses it to because he's hurting Falele's side while he's gaining ground essentially by like using it to leverage himself.
Yeah. It's a good
big fan of that rep.
It's a good bully play from Andrew Billings too.
Oh, let's see that.
Yeah.
Because Billings did have some nice fun reps last year. Don't get me wrong, but like it was just the outside zone plays where he's just can't put on the brakes are just like they're on replay in my brain from last year.
He put his man on the skates. Doesn't get the knockdown, but he put him on the skates.
Oh, Falele?
Yeah. He does a nice job. He just bends him. Just wee.
But Ron, look whose right arm is forcing that.
It's true.
It's Gervon Dexter's right forearm, right in his oblique, is what causes the opportunity for Billings, and not to take away from Billings as he does it, but gives Billings the opening to truly bend the guy in half.
Yeah. Bully ball, man. They're just so physical. I think that's their secret sauce, man. They just need to beat the crap out of you and wear you down.
That was a pretty rough circle I just drew, but there's Dexter.
That's okay. Bench press.
Yeah, this was a more like I felt like this might be more the right tackle than Dexter on this rep, but I still gave it to him because of that he gets that left hand on the shoulder pad and just runs the guy. He's able to bench press and run him.
Oh yeah, this is incredible. You know what? I'm starting to think there's not a statistic that has yet perfected like what Dexter does, like those little things.
Well, nose tackles notoriously grade awful on PFF run defense. Like really, guys who I think are very good nose tackles.
They're just asked to eat double teams, man.
Yeah,
like that's what a one tech does. I'll tell you what, Q. The only time I've ever played defensive tackle in a four down in my life was as a one. I never got to play the three. Yet I played D end. It was a very strange combination. But I played a lot of one, man. I played a lot of one tackle in high school.
I mean, I think this is Dennis Allen's nose tackle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I also do. I love a good Dexter rep where you can get him isolated on an offensive tackle just because he tends to be too strong for him like this.
Just beats him up.
Like, yeah, he's just tossing him around like a rag doll because he's too strong. Now, the end result of this play isn't very good. I think maybe because of Sewell. Sewell's kind of getting doubled there.
Doesn't this bounce outside?
Yeah, this is a touchdown despite Dexter's very strong effort.
Yeah, this was
I'm not sure who's actually to blame here. I guess it's got to be like TJ.
It's a good last second.
Everyone just kind of ends up. It's just a pile of shit.
Yeah, that's brutal. Can't happen.
All right, so now we are on to one of the Packers games.
Ooh.
And I picked his two best games, his two worst games, and I think two middle games. I think I did 6 games in total. Or no, his two best games, his two worst games, and the 2 playoff games. Those were what I did. To make it by PFF grade, just to try to just get a whole bag of whatever is being put out there. And this is against Anthony Belton, a guy who, again, if you have a power guard, I think Dexter's going to do well against him. I think it's the finesse technique guys that he struggles more with. But the power guys, when it's power versus power, Dexter tends to win.
Yeah, he's strong as shit, man. He's not as I think he's not as athletic as people hoped he would be.
Yeah.
But he is just, if you just try to bully him, you can't bully him.
I think his lateral burst is not what it was advertised to be.
Yeah.
And his length really does limit his ability to disengage. But just
He's
from an
just
ability
strong
to
as shit.
stuff up space.
Yeah. He's just strong as shit, man.
And if he can keep, like last year, he started adding a corkscrew technique. Like Byron Murphy for Seattle does it outstanding. But against double teams, be able to get that knee in the ground and lever back up. Dexter added that last year. It was really hit or miss for him. A lot more misses than hits. But if he can continue to develop that, that's where his double team, because right now I'd still say his biggest weakness probably is the double team take on.
Yeah.
But if he can continue to improve that, you're starting to talk about a guy who's, I don't know if he's going to get paid by the Bears this amount, but someone's going to see that as very worthwhile for their defense.
Absolutely.
Like right here where Dexter forces this back inside essentially.
Sure does.
Right? Like Jacobs is looking to try to hit that spot.
This is a nice
trying to open this wide.
This is a really nice rep by Montez Sweat too. Just to hold the, like, just such a strong edge that him and Gervon set.
Yeah.
And even without clean tackling, like, they get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard edge, man. That's a thing of beauty.
Got him in like a 3, borderline 4-eye, right?
Yeah, I would say that's borderline.
This time he's up against Zach Tom, the offensive tackle, and again,
who he is so much bigger than.
You get Dexter against offensive tackles, it's really hard to move them. Like they're just guards are much stronger than tackles in general. Yeah. Like he's too powerful for most tackles. Like the few times we've seen Dexter win as an edge rusher, and for a pass rush standpoint, it's just like a bully pass rush. It's just a bully like bull rush move because he's too strong for the guy.
Hey Q, I know this is a Gervon Dexter podcast, but that's also really nice rep Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, dude. So Jarrett has he has just enough reps to keep you believing, right? Like it's like he has these moments where it's like holy shit, but then he has these moments where it's like holy shit, the other. But also on a per game basis, like Grady Jarrett played something like the 10th most snaps in the NFL last year of any D tackle.
Insane.
Something like that. It's just
absolutely insane. He's a workhorse, man.
There might still be some hope that you can get some boosted production from more fresh legs with him, I think. But you can't play in that many snaps.
More fresh legs, and I also think too it'll be good for him to be fully healthy this year as well.
And Ron, Dexter never gets penalties for like roughing or anything, but this man never misses an opportunity to land on someone.
Hell yeah. And
I appreciate that. Because he's like 320, 330 pounds. I don't know. He's probably like 315. I think he said he's up to 3. He played at 312 last year. I think I remember him saying.
He's a monster.
But I don't know. He seemed heavier than that weight to me. Just the way he lands on guys and like lands in general. So you got him on the flip side here over against, that might be Sean Ryan for the Packers.
Yeah.
Their left guard spot.
Double team.
This is one where I'm pretty sure this play and maybe one other tanked his run defense grade against the Packers. Because he did not do well in this game, I don't think, from a grade standpoint. He's getting hands to the face there. Probably lucky he didn't get the face mask call, but at the same time, he's getting hands to the face.
Yeah, you're not even a Josh Jacobs. You're not going to arm tackle a Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. But his take on here, let's see how his get off was, because he definitely, okay, so he's taking on the double. Ron, what do you think the most effective way for a guy to take on a double team is?
Ooh. My experience playing O-line, who pissed me off the most on double D? Honestly, it's the dudes that go to the knee, the corkscrew. That shit's irritating. I absolutely hate it. I don't like when defensive players are anywhere near my knees. Absolutely hate it. It scares the shit out of me. I don't trust.
You see him start to try it here. And like I said, it was a work in progress all season for him. You see him start to try to go down, and his timing is just a little off. But he gets a similar effect here just by going halfway down.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing where, like, you've been saying, since his college days, if this guy can figure out his pad level, he's going to be an immense problem. Because that's essentially what he's doing with the corkscrew, is getting those pads down.
Right. I was gonna say, I think the corkscrew for some smaller D tackles and like bigger guys is truly just, it's like, hey, I'm just trying to get low to slip in. For him, it's like, I'm just trying to play at like a normal human being's level because I'm so big.
Yeah. Let's see, how far did he get pushed off the ball here?
Because how tall is he again?
Oh, he's like 6'5" or something.
That's what I thought. He's
6'4", 6'5".
Freakishly massive. Freakishly massive D tackles weird me out. I played one against one in high school, Q. This kid is like a 14-year-old, was like 6'8" and 300 pounds. And I just cut him all game. I was playing center.
Yeah.
Just cut him.
He's
every pass play.
6'6".
Every pass play.
Yeah, nearly 6'6".
Yeah, he's huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, he's just freakishly huge, man. And those guys are a pain in the ass to go against, because you would think, oh, you're lower, like if the offensive lineman, especially guards are 6'2", 6'3" sometimes. Centers are certainly lower, smaller than that. Tackles maybe taller, but not as heavy as him. And then you go against that guy, like you would think you're lower than his pad level. And like sometimes you are, but sometimes you're almost like too low to the point where he can bully you. It's like the little brother.
Yeah.
You get your older sibling right in the hip, and then they just bench press you with their arm and hold you at a distance. That's kind of Gervon Dexter's bread and butter.
This is kind of I think Dennis Allen was gambling here.
I think Dennis Allen is a very gambling DC.
I feel like this is very much like they're telling Billings, hey, just drive that center back.
Just go.
And we're getting everyone out to the left side, essentially. Like this flow action of the entire defense is just a little different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure who, I guess 48 misread and then was a little slow to get in there.
It's not a bad block on the way through.
No, not at all. But that's just an interesting play concept to me. I would bet a lot is going on the linebacker's read there.
100%. Oh yeah, the 4-point stance. I love the 4-point stance.
Ooh, that was nice.
He's just so big. So freakishly big. I think like
you put his hands in him before the blocker can engage. Holds that ground. I mean, 63, it's not good technique. Like, I mean, his hands are not at all where they're supposed to be, but I mean, that's fine for us, for Dexter. Like he's just able to hangs up that guard a little longer than the guard wants to be, lets DeMarco Jackson get in that hole, forces the ball back to Dexter and the crashing end. Like, Dexter did a really nice job on that rep.
Yeah, that's a thing of beauty. Again, his contact balance allows him to physically throw guys off the spot.
Yeah. And his upper body strength is really upper and lower body, honestly, it's really the calling card. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and say that Gervon Dexter is some amazing run defender, because there are negatives in there, and there's a lot of average in there that is not getting shown right now.
Sure.
Like, this is one of the negatives. He is driven off the ball right here because let's see what happened on this rep.
Yeah, still struggling with a good double team.
But I mean, he's not like everyone says slow off the ball first thing when they hear see Dexter. I feel like he's really improved in that aspect. Like I felt like he was fine timing off the ball here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little too. I think he's trying to hit that corkscrew again, and he just didn't get his. He was a little slow to get down on it. He's thinking about it when he's trying to do it.
Yeah,
because it looks like if you watch that left knee of his, he looks like he's trying to get there, and then the O linemen start driving him up before he can get all the way there.
Yep. Yeah, I think he just gets beat to the leverage spot. It's a good double team.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Nicely done double team.
That's
I mean, he really gets driven on this one. And this is the one that I think this is the rep that gets stuck in everyone's heads. And they go, Gervon Dexter sucks at run defense. And I don't believe it to be a fair statement, I guess, just because like we've seen so much good before this bad.
Yeah, but I think, the pad level thing really does make it hard to win on double teams because you just got two guys that are lower than you coming at you immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's again, he's 6'7". Like most guys that are 6'6". He's that big. You're going to be at a natural disadvantage, and that's the one thing that you take with him though. But at the same time, he's so strong in what they do. Like, dare I say, Q, that Dennis Allen almost wants his D lineman to play exactly like the Chicago Bears offensive line does. You're just moving people off the spot, create gaps for the speed. Right? It's like the defensive mirror of Ben Johnson's offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Gervon's a freakish athlete, but because of the pad level, the bad comes with he's going to get rocked on double teams. Absolutely rocked. That is going to be his lowest point as a run defender, is if a good double team occurs, he's toast.
Look at this one, though. He's able to get his hands in the right place at 71 and kind of give him an O-lay, but still hold him up long enough to let the linebacker get at the gap.
Yeah, and he's also able to kind of change his body angle too. He kind of slides his hip a little bit more into the hole, makes him harder to move. That's why these guys that were really good at
and again, I think this is that little corkscrew that he's trying, and this one hits a lot. I think you're right with getting that hip pocket kind of down, or not down, but aligned with the gap between the two blockers is kind of giving him the opportunity or giving him better leverage point there to maintain.
Yeah.
This is just a hustle play.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he gets knocked for this. I think he gets knocked for this in his PFF grade, though.
Yeah,
I don't fully agree with that.
He gets knocked off the tackle. Like,
even if not, I don't think he hurt the play. And all he did was like hustle in pursuit.
Oh, for sure. I still think I would not be upset about that whatsoever. Again, it really does look like, I think it's DeMarco Jackson coming in on run defense here. Like, almost literally knocks him off the spot as he comes through here to try to make the tackle. There's your downhill angle. Bang.
Yeah.
He almost gets knocked off a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. Like, that's going to happen sometimes. It's a great effort play, though.
Yeah. All right, now we're into some of this 49ers game.
I remember this game.
Which, shockingly, like, he had some really nice reps in this game. He had some negative ones, too, though.
Oh, sure. That was probably one of the craziest football games of the season.
Like, yeah, that ability to just stop, plant your foot, and just like flip the guy to the other side is nice. Just a little late.
Right.
A little too late.
Day late and a dollar short.
Which I'd knock him a little there, but not that, just because it went through his gap. But I still think that he did a generally nice job here. Or generally okay job. I wouldn't say nice. Okay enough, but I'd probably give him a slight negative on this just for being late with that. Because it came through his gap.
Yep.
Right now we got him over number 77 here.
Yeah.
Again, he just holds up the pile.
Yeah.
And then holds up the pile, running back cuts back, and he's in the way.
Just another great holding the line of scrimmage play.
Yeah, and that's consistently. I think that is like one. You don't want to single block him in a like. You need to double him in the run game if you're going to run in his direction.
Yeah,
and that's an asset to me on the defensive line. Even if pass rush aside, and he does have some pass rush use, but like to me, that's his strongest asset. And it's everyone seems to anyone who has an opinion. Because there's not many, but those who do seem to think it's the opposite, and I think different. This one, just so laid there. What, Ron? What do you think? I always struggle with these moments, like especially like these outside zone looks.
Oh yeah.
How would you grade this defensive tackle? How would you grade him on this rep here? Because in my mind, he might be pursuing a little aggressively, and he forces the cutback, but who's he forcing the cutback to? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, you love having a player play in the backfield. But I think it's a great initial win for Dexter. He gets in a good position. This is just really good stuff too by the right tackle, being able to throw him kind of through the hole and give his running back a chance. When you see him he does things that a lot of running backs can't do. There's not a lot of running backs that hit that on a dime and then reaccelerate through. I mean, Q, you and I could run through that hole, man. He makes a great initial play and then they clear the way for him. That's just how you want zone to open up. And although he's playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, in that instance, it just didn't work out. Maybe he got a little over aggressive, and that's where he could get knocked for it. But you're never going to knock his effort.
Well, I think what makes
He's
it
there,
even tougher is like how much Booker won right there.
Oh yeah,
like Dexter didn't need to keep pursuing outside because Booker had it locked up.
Yep. Get him.
All right, now I switched the color to yellow because the pink was kind of blended in with the red of the 49ers jerseys. But let's see what we're dealing with here. I mean, I like how much he stonewalls it, but again, I think he got kicked a little far outside initially. That just, was it 64, 54? Looks like the center 64 just gets a really nice piece of his hip here to really just kick him wide.
Yeah, this looks like this is more so inside zone, mid zone that you're starting to see a lot of in the NFL, or that you've seen a lot of now in the NFL. It's got also some counter aspects to it as well. Like, this is what the O line is taught to do on these type of plays. The front side, you want to create vertical movement. and throw them off the spot. He gets thrown off the spot here. This is a good double team to completely move him off. It's a great read. You would, maybe hope your center could get off and go to the next level, but first level first is how they teach it. And a really nice cutback on top of it. Sometimes just the offense is going to win, man. Just like sometimes the defense wins. Not every Ben Johnson play works either.
Ron, if we want the bright side here, watch Dexter's right leg, so like my left-hand side, as he's instinctively regaining control. He instinctively puts that knee down.
Yeah.
There was no thought there. It was late in the season. You saw him recognize what was happening and just do it. It's a little late, but I just like the fact that that looks very smooth and thoughtless to me, as opposed to earlier where some of the reps looked like he's stuck thinking and not doing.
Yeah. And that's the growing pains you have with a new coaching staff coming in. You hear Ben Johnson harp that they're going to coach these guys. They're going to coach them hard. They're actually going to develop them. And that's a development victory, I think, for a lot of coaches. It's like, okay, it's getting there. Like now he's just doing it. Yeah. And it's going to start to happen more frequently and more well-timed as a result. You'll take that win. Like sometimes it's like, all right, the work's paying off.
This was just a nice bully ball rep from him.
I love bully ball. Bully ball is my favorite style of football.
It's why I enjoy watching Dexter, even though I know he's not great, but like
he just bullies people.
I did a whole video a few years ago, I think his rookie or sophomore year, of just like his improvement as a pass rusher, which was marginal, but like it was definitely improvement. And it was just like, yeah, he just started punching dudes in the stomach. And it worked. Just uppercuts the stomach, man. He's really good at it.
It's violent in the trenches. A lot of people think they just run into each other. No, guys get punched and elbowed, and that shit happens all the time.
Honestly, this might have been one of them. Look at the guard's reaction.
Ooh.
Looks like he just got punched in the gut.
It's like, oh, jeez.
He just stuns dude by punching him in the stomach.
Whatever works, man.
Okay, got him 3-tech right here. That was a really nice rep to me. And it's, Ron, can you talk a little about something that I think gets overlooked a lot with run defense, and it's recognition. Players' recognition to see where the blocking scheme is going and finding the spot to disrupt that concept.
So defensive, this is the aspect of defense. Obviously, it's a very instinctual position, but the best ones start to identify offensive traits, what the offensive lines be. Half of knowing what your opponent, as linemen especially, half of knowing your position is knowing what your opponent's also trying to do. So the importance of play recognition is when, I feel myself getting hooked. I know this is an outside zone or an inside zone play. I know I want to settle and I want to consume a gap. You need to have that read and react ability in order. And again, we've talked about it extensively when it comes to DA's defense. They ask a lot for read and react out of their defensive linemen. We've seen that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of vertical stuff. It's not a lot of horizontal. They're just trying to keep the battle at the line of scrimmage and let their speed come in and clean it up.
Yeah. No, agreed. I mean, I think that Dexter showed a lot of strides last year in that recognition of what is this run concept and how do I stop it? How do I become a problem for it?
Yeah.
Which again does not show up in the stat sheets, but
Nope.
it's something that I do think that this coaching staff really harped on him last year and might have eaten into some of the pass rush ability. And like
No.
personally, I do think he's going to continue to struggle from a standpoint of processing run versus pass
Yeah.
and getting into his rep from there. But when he's prepared for rundowns, he can be a problem. When he's prepared for pass downs, he can too. But I think the higher floor is the player who's prepared for rundowns.
100%. And real anti-up pad levels garbage. Yeah. We've harped on that all night. That's going to really bite them. Terrible habits. But again, real anti thinks still had his best year overall though.
Well, and at the end of the day, here's my thing with the pad levels comments. How's his knee bend? Because the guy's 6'6".
He's huge.
He's gonna be taller than everybody else in the D line every rep. But how is his knee bend on this rep? How do you feel about his pad level relative to his height? Because on this rep, I think he's just fine.
Yeah, he's just huge. And sometimes there are times that becomes a disadvantage at D tackle, right? We've seen where it's either you're big and unmovable or you're a little smaller and athletic. There's very few guys that are just big, but are just like physically taller than everybody else.
I feel like there's only been maybe 2 reps we've seen where pad level was truly a cause of the issue.
Yeah, at least in this sequence for sure. But I think it's more so his just natural pad level is always going to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Even if he does play low, like his playing low is still 6 feet tall.
Yeah. It's still like Andrew Billings is 5'11". There's a big difference.
If you're 6'2", you're able to get under that. You're playing at like a 5'10" pad level. You're gonna win the leverage battle every time. And he gets double teamed so often.
Yeah.
Especially in the mid zone. I think you see him, he is 100% best when he's one-on-one. He's almost a better backside defensive player than he is front side.
Mm-hmm.
Because
especially with how much of a just psychopath he is in pursuit.
For sure. And you almost like, if you're the Bears, you almost wish you could always just bounce him to the other side and have the right read. Again, I think he's better also again on the play side against true outside zone rather than these like inside mid zones because there's more double teams on the front side because they're getting that horizontal movement.
Yeah.
Versus on the backside, they want to get vertical movement. You're not vertically moving Gervon Dexter.
Not one-on-one.
Because he's a physical freak. That's where he shines. I think, you can make the argument that if he gets better at just whitewashing double teams, I think the overall discussion about him as a run defender improves in the minds of most fans.
And Ron, I love this rep. I don't care. They got 7-8 yards on the ground, whatever it is. I love this rep from him. This is just beautiful.
So strong, man. Bullies the offensive lineman in the ground. I mean,
and then look at the finish.
Always finishing them off.
I mean, him and Brisker, but just put some pain on McCaffrey right there. Like they sandwiched the dude. Like that's the type of stuff that really just speaks to me when I'm watching D-line tape, and I know it's probably not the best thing to speak to you because it doesn't actually translate always to anything. But like, I just love how pretty he is. Again, you see him putting guys on the ground, and he's still standing.
Yeah, and a great play overall by the line to snuff that out in the backfield.
All right, let's see. We're gonna move a little faster here because I want to make sure we get some more of these in, but we don't need to break everyone down all the way. This one was nice though.
Yeah, he's taken on a lot of bodies.
It seems like it's more the downhill combos, like maybe the duo, the inside zone stuff that is trouble for him. These wide combos, I feel like he handles really well.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
absolutely. And that's exactly what I was saying. Q is against the wide zone or the outside zone, because it's more of a lateral movement on the double team, and it's a lot harder to catch his hip in space like that. He's not as easily to move off the line of scrimmage, so he is able to snuff out a lot more plays on the, especially on the play side, definitely on the backside on both. It's those front side, more condensed zones that he struggles the most with, because usually those centers are able to get to his hip. And as soon as he gets to his hip, because he's so physically big, he's always going to move. That's the only way you can beat him. You have to get to his hip. Like, if you're Gervon Dexter in a perfect world, you've learned the best way to keep defense or offensive linemen off of your hips, and you're going to be a monster.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
What's the best way, though? Is that just hands? Is that just preparedness? Like,
I don't even know if it's preparedness. I think for guys big as him, being able to drop and be lower is a huge piece of that, just because of his physical stature. I also think I think a piece of his hands. You see it when he's really aggressive and he wins with his hands. You see him be able to get to the backside shoulder of that first lead blocker, or the lead zone.
Beat the first man, beat both men kind of thing.
Yeah, he's able to slip in between a little bit easier, because he's so strong with his hands and able to flare guys while moving laterally. If he can, if they can't get to his hip in space, he's golden. That's the only time that he gets moved and really beat bad off of double teams. And I'll tell you what, I like that.
Yeah.
The little rip through. I mean,
so this one I actually had as a negative for him. I thought that because of that, like, it just lost control pretty early in the rep.
They do. It's a spectacular job of getting to his front side shoulder. I like the backside rip. And again, it's the effort. Like, he keeps fighting. He's initially beat. He could just give up, but it's good secondhand effort to keep fighting through.
Okay.
Because if that running back doesn't see him, or, it's not a clean exchange or something, he's still in a position to make a play. He's not totally out of it.
It can be hard sometimes to see the full picture too. Like,
yeah, and it's, I mean,
it's stuck into something like the ball went there, so he's over here.
Like, I would still, if I asked a defensive line coach, they would probably tell you, like, yeah, I still don't like that he got beat like that. Like, there's still coaching moments there, but you always will appreciate, hey, good job, keep fighting, don't give up, you keep fighting through, because you might have a chance to make a play, even if you get beat off the rip. 90, like, in my opinion, especially on the D line, sometimes it's like 90% of it in a game is just your desire to play the position.
Yeah, which I think is strong with him, at least.
Oh yeah, the dude loves playing D tackle.
This rep just looks like they were saying, "Go get the passer or get upfield."
Yeah,
to me, and it didn't work out. It just feels like a Dennis Allen gamble or a misread on his part. One of the two.
Could be. Yeah, that's something that, unless you're able to be a fly on that defensive meeting wall and hear that back and forth, hey, this is what my thought process was, won't know for sure.
Those were literally the only like 2 reps from the Bengals game that I thought mattered. Like, everything else just felt very fine in that game. The Giants game was pretty similar. There's only a few reps from this Giants game in here, and the rest were. And those 2 games were either graded really high or really low for him. I forget which. And it was like I came away going, why? Like, I just didn't really grasp
why. Yeah.
they were graded so well. This one is Giants O line is definitely not a bunch of people leaders or anything, but like not very nice rep from Dexter there on the end zone, which was something that in college was like that was his bread and like you wanted to see the best Gervon Dexter plays, put on the red zone tape. Like he showed up every time.
Yeah. Eats that line of scrimmage, man. Just if he can bench press guys, it's game over.
Yeah. Ooh, this is one of the times he ends up on the ground. Very rough.
Leaning a little too hard.
I do think I'm not sure if he got injured in this game or something. I feel like I vaguely recollect him potentially leaving this game at one point. But that doesn't excuse it. I was just poor rep.
Yeah, just not great, Bob. A little too. Oh no, that's Billings on 2 eye. Playing with a 4 eye. Ooh.
Yeah, he just gets kind of bullied here a little. Let's see, was that was off the double team? They didn't really get his hip. It's just a rare moment where like Illuminor's a pretty strong tackle. So I think that double team just got him. They just got some power combo there.
It's just a good double team.
Yeah. And again, gets him on the ground. That was so you notice though, a lot of the good reps that we saw were later in the year.
Yeah.
And it seems like whenever we go to the earlier in the year reps,
they're a lot sloppy.
That's where we're seeing more of these moments where it's like, and a lot less in these games of the really positive moments.
Yeah.
Which is telling to like I really do think he developed a lot last year as a run defender.
100%. I really do. You got to remember, like, I think the reason his grade was so interesting is because he did have a solid 24, but he was being asked to do something very different in this defense for DA than he was for Eberflus. So there is that learning curve early in the season when you're learning something new. I think he did a great job developing. I think that was the whole mantra of this Bears team was like certain guys took huge steps in development, but it took a little bit of time over the season because of the coaching changes and how they're doing things, and things are run differently.
Right.
I think he's a perfect example of that because he started to become a more noticeable impact run defender later in the season.
Ooh,
not great.
That one was just went a little like panic mode there.
He's like, I don't know what to do.
I think he was like, "Oh, I got out of my gap. I gotta get back to my gap, no matter what." Like he just like flew back too fast.
This is a great comment here from Bear Truth 9. It says, I feel what I see of him. He started football later in high school, so I think the IQ, natural instinct, and not sure his front ankle or bend period may affect him staying lower. I hope I'm wrong about the ability part. Yeah, I do think there is something to be said about guys who just played less of a sport. Like they have more learning curve, and it shows why I like
so he played like he played I want to say 2 or 3 years of football before 7th grade, and then in 7th grade he quit football to focus on basketball. And then he didn't pick football back up till his junior year of high school.
And you see that hustle, like the basketball aspect, like hustle in basketball is a huge aspect of playing basketball. You see that translate over to football. Like there's a lot of value in guys being multi-sport athletes growing up. You learn, you can take other traits away from other sports. You see a lot of receivers talk about, their, double moves on corners. They use like a basketball crossover.
Ron, you know what I'm going to say with that right leg right here?
You like to see it going down right away?
Look at this one, man.
This is good.
Look at this one in the playoffs.
You love to see it.
Playoffs. Like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, no, I think that's a very valid comment. Like, I mean, I think it's easy to forget that Dexter. I mean, it gets weird, right? Because it's like on one hand, you're sitting here going, he's going into his 4th year. You'd like to see more development to this point.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you need to remind yourself he was 20 years old when he was drafted.
Yeah, he was super
And
young.
he's what I think he's 24, 25 right now. Or this will be like his age 24, 25 season. Let's see. Yeah, he's 24 right now. He will turn 25 in October. So he is younger than Akeem Mesidor, I think.
That's crazy.
Like, and I hate that argument a lot of times. I hit that thing again with my hands talking. I a lot of times I get really frustrated with that argument, but I do think there's some validity to it with Dexter, where like we are seeing growth.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever going to be like an all-pro player. I don't think he'll. I'm not even very confident he'll ever be a Pro Bowl player. But there are a lot of quality starting off at defensive tackles in the NFL who are never going to be Pro Bowlers.
100%. And I think that's all DA's looking for him to be, because he fits the mold of the type of D tackle that they want. And as long as he can do his job on a regular basis and free other guys up to make plays, that's all DA is worried about. He'll scheme up things for his D tackles when he needs to get them in space and doing things. But he just needs space eaters. And Gervon Dexter is a very good space eater. And it's not sexy. It's not going to be considered amongst the best of the best in the game, but it gets the job done and it fills a role.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm still, like I said at the start of the show, I'm still stuck between like, I don't know what they're going to do with him.
I don't either. I think there's a real world where it's as of today, Q, a complete coin flip.
Yeah.
Like if he has a really good year next year, I think that completely changes the conversation. If he has a really bad year, I think that completely changes the conversation. I really think they're looking at it and saying, hey, you had 1 year to develop under what we're looking for you to do. Now go out there and show us it, and we'll talk about paying you when the season's over. Or you're going to be playing somewhere else.
I mean, I think there's also a very real argument of he has a really good year. A more true one gap defense looks at him and says, we're going to pay this guy money.
Oh, for sure.
Because like Dennis Allen runs a one gap scheme, but does he? You know, like it's kind of, his scheme is very multiple. I'm not sure that he's going to put the value on Dexter that some other defenses might.
For sure. And I think that's why, like, in fairness, when he was drafted, it was under the Eberflus regime.
Mm-hmm.
They liked what he did in that one gap scheme.
It's the reason. I was one of the only people I feel like who had a second round grade on him, and it was because I was scouting through the Matt Eberflus defense lens. I was like, this guy is what he wants. Like, this guy fits very clearly what they're trying to do.
Why do you think Ben Johnson being so involved in the draft process now has yielded players that are successful in his scheme? The coach needs to be just as involved in roster construction as the GM does.
Just holds up the point against the center. Like, you're telling me on running situations, I can get Gervon Dexter up against the center one-on-one. Like, DA right there. Clearly wanted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down linemen and another overhang. Like,
yep.
He wanted 1-versus-1 up the middle with Dexter in the center, and he got it.
He got it.
I'm not sure if I need to keep circling 99 for everyone, but I'll just keep doing it.
Oh, big thickums.
And there's just the hustle again. We see him, just the pursuit. He's pretty relentless. Going back to college, he always was pretty relentless with the pursuit.
He just doesn't give up on plays. Like he's going to get beat, but he doesn't give up.
Yeah. That was the other reason I had this corny ass thing in my scouting reports that year, where it was like if I thought he was a hits player, I wrote hits at the top of his report in big letters. He was one of the like most clear hits players in the draft. Oof. It didn't look like it felt good on the knee.
No.
Okay, we're just gonna keep letting this run, and ooh, he gets blown out by Kevin Dotson right there. But then he has a really nice rep right there to follow it up.
I miss watching Bears playoff football, Q.
Dude, me too, man.
What a rush. What a rush those two games were.
Me too, my man. It was a tough game against the Rams for him for the most part. Again, I do not think he was right in this game. Either that or the snow or I don't know, but he was off for a lot of this game. Maybe it was just the Rams love duo, and they were able to wear him down.
The Rams do love duo.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were saying. Like if you can get the more vertical run concept on him,
that's where he struggles.
Questionable.
Yep.
So maybe that's really what was getting it. He had a few moments in this game, but like it was one of the only games I watched where I felt like there was more negative than positive.
Yeah.
So this game against the Rams is probably the biggest selling point for Gervon Dexter's bad at run defense. But outside of that, I thought almost every other game I watched was like it's either very neutral or I was like, this dude's a problem. It was probably against. You know what, Ron?
Yeah.
He was a problem for the Packers. He was a problem for the Rams. And those are two outside zone heavy teams.
Yeah. He's a problem against zone teams, and he's a problem against pretty much bigger, stronger bully type guards. He struggles mightily when you can get double teams going vertical on him.
Yeah.
That's the glaring weakness in his game that's always going to keep him on that next tier down, just like you said, from like a Pro Bowler or even an All-Pro. But when they get the matchups that work well, like he does a very clear role in this defense, and it's maintain the line of scrimmage, move the line of scrimmage, stay in your gap. You don't need to be the sexy, make a bunch of plays guy. You just need to take up space and eat up blocks so we can let the speed go and make plays. That's why I think, we're going to see from Devin Bush, I think all these guys that they acquired in the offseason to make this defense faster, I think they're going to benefit more from a guy like Gervon Dexter this year. So, fine, I think was a fair place to put him right now. I think there's a world where he could get to a good grade, but you'll always know what his glaring weaknesses are. That's just unfortunately the type of player he is, but he does a lot of things very well. And again, Q, there's plenty of guys in the league that are quality starting defensive tackles that are never going to make a Pro Bowl, but they do their job and they fill a very clear need on their team.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Ron, I'm curious. Did you vote in this poll?
I checked and I don't believe I did, Q.
So if you had, what would you have voted, and did that change tonight?
I would have voted fine. And I don't think my vote would have changed, but I think my feeling about my vote would have changed. And let me explain. I think going in, I would say fine on the erring on the side of caution with my fine. Like, I think he's fine. He gets the job done. He's nothing sexy. He's nothing perfect. I think we continue to see that. But now, I think, especially after this breakdown, what he actually does do well. But the weaknesses are very glaring. And that's why he's always going to be maybe a step down from what people hoped he would become. But fine in the league works. I'll take a lot of fine players, especially on defense. Oh, you're fine? Great. That's okay. You need those guys to still fill holes. We saw those guys time and time again when the Bears defense was good, right? In the 2000s, not the sexy guys, but like Tank Johnson was a dude, right?
Yeah.
Those type of guys were dudes. They filled a void.
Who was there's a guy who's like in my head, it's part of the Jared Goff trade.
The Jared Goff trade.
Which, granted, he played
Does he play for
he played next to Aaron Donald. So like that,
Okay.
That's gonna help anybody. But he was just a strong run stuffing D tackle. He was like a last
Puna Ford?
No, it wasn't Puna.
Who was it then? He played next to Donald. He was a part of the Jared Goff trade.
Yeah, he played next to Donald in that Super Bowl, where Goff and McVay lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, where Goff and McVay lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's see. What year would that have been? 2017 Los Angeles Rams?
No, it was like 2018. I want to say it was 2018. Michael Brockers.
Oh, yes.
Michael Brockers was a clear starter in the NFL.
Yes.
For playoff teams.
Yes.
6'5", 300 pounds.
Yep.
More run stuffer than a pass rusher.
Yep.
I think a Michael Brockers-esque career is probably what we're looking at with Gervon Dexter. I don't think that's anything to throw away.
No, you'll take that. He's not going to stay with one team for his whole career, probably at that pace. But like, he's going to be reliable.
Right. He's a guy who can start consistently on a playoff team if you get talent next to him, especially. I think then he can really shine. But like, to me, and to be clear, my answer to this question is probably fine. I don't think I can go to good, but I'm closer to good than I am poor, is the way I'd put it. And that's really what I think I wanted to outline with this episode, because I think most people are closer to poor than good, and I'm not there.
I agree. I think I also lean more toward the positivity, especially now after seeing the film. And I'll tell you what, Q, you mentioned where a player like Gervon Dexter could be really successful, and this will be something that I think the Bears are going to make a decision on this year, because if Gervon shows that he can do that and they can get him on a really affordable contract for what he does, I think you see them take a run at one of those potential Rams defensive linemen that are going to hit free agency next year because of the Myles Garrett trade, right? Or Brian Young or somebody like that. I think there's a world where you see the Bears then pursue that type of guy to pair with him, spend your money there, and then, continue drafting other places and filling holes that way. I think it's a very real possibility. And what they're looking for to find out with Gervon Dexter this year, but I think we saw glimpses of it toward the end of the season.
Oh, man, Ron, the things I would do to get Kobe Turner on this team.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Problem. But anyways, Bear Truth 9 in the comments saying he doesn't think Gervon's a starter. He thinks he's a rotation guy right now, asking if we agree. I think we kind of answered that, but I wanted to make sure we tossed it out to you. I mean, I think you can start him. I think his ceiling is probably best reach as a rotational guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think you find guys better than Gervon Dexter very easily. So that's kind of the rock and the hard place of it. Like, sure, you cannot start him, but who are you starting?
I think a perfect world, he's like your low end DT2 on a team where, there's going to be guys or mid, I would say maybe mid D2 or DT2 with like a really good number one next to him. It's like, there's some guys that are better out there as twos that are probably arguably ones, but there's not a lot of guys better than him. And if he's your third, that means your DT room is disgusting.
Yeah.
Which, like we've seen,
he's a very good 3. in my
We've
eyes.
seen those teams in the past, right? We've seen the Philadelphia Eagles of the world, and we've seen the Los Angeles Rams of the world where they can run a couple of guys more than just two guys deep. That third guy becomes a problem when
Dude,
he's probably a startable player on almost every other team in the league.
a world where you're taking out your starters and the line thinks they can get a breather, and this dude just punches you in the gut. Like,
Yeah. All
yeah,
6'6" of them,
yeah.
at 315 pounds.
I said he's a brawler. He's just out there punching people. Like,
he just wants to fight. He just
if
wants
you
to
really
fight.
want, like, just watch his tape and just watch his hands and see how many times he punches guys in the gut. It's constant.
Yeah, and I agree with this statement here from Bear Truth. Definitely looks like he's in the best shape. I think he's filled what he needs to be in terms of the body mold. Like, I think he's getting close to being there of what they want. It's pretty hard to deny that. But
So I've been like wondering, because he looks big. I think he said he added a little weight this off season.
yeah, but I think he had a good weight.
I think he did, and I think he's a freaky athlete.
He's big,
Like
dude.
body type is just different, but like,
He looks like he should be playing basketball.
yeah. I mean, like he is. Thank you, NBA, for deciding that power forwards no longer matter because
No, because he would be perfect.
yeah, but like I feel like they want him bulked up,
Yeah,
to play more interior role, more 2i, more one tech and a little zero tech, especially on neutral downs. On passing downs, I think they want a pass rusher. I think they want Grady Jarrett or Jordan Vandenberg there. If most likely Jarrett, because I don't know that Vandenberg will be there yet.
Yeah.
But which interestingly, like I really think the more I've like dove into this, I think that in this defense, the zero tech is the havoc creator more than anything.
Yeah.
And like I looked at the stats, like Grady Jarrett played more nose tackle than any Bears defensive tackle in the playoffs last year. That's telling to me because he's not playing nose tackle to stop the run. That's not what he's there to do. So it's interesting. I'm really interested to see how they deploy this group and how they are strategizing it, because I've had this theory going back to last season, like mid-season, that Dexter's going to be their run stuffer, and it's kind of played out that way roster-wise so far.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's what they envision him being in this defense right now, and we'll see if he can continue developing what he found late in the season.
All right. Well, Ron, thank you for joining me for this sicko episode.
This was a fun.
Talk about if this player is good, and maybe we'll get another episode or two like this in here. Maybe we'll get an episode where we talk some scheme in here.
That'd be fun.
Maybe dive into some of Bobby Peters' book and pick out some concepts that we want to talk through and show some examples of. But again, Ron, thank you for joining me, guys, listening, watching. Thank you guys for sticking with us and, being sickos with us on this. But Ron, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man, this was fun. I enjoyed the sicko tape stuff. This is the stuff I really get fired up for, Q. So this was a good episode, man. Learned a lot. Got to see some new things that I don't get to see a lot of film of, or I don't watch a lot of defensive line play for the Chicago Bears. So this was very enjoyable.
Dude, Ron, you know what I do when I have spare time in football season? Just
watch all 22.
I do the O-line grades, which I'm not sure I'll have the time to do this year coming up, but we'll still do the O-line episodes regardless.
Very excited about this.
So like Monday through like Wednesday, like my spare time was going to that, right? And then by the time like Thursday and Friday roll around, I'm itching. I'm like, I got nothing to watch. So I go watch the Bears D-line tape. Like not every week, but just the weeks where I can make it work. I'm like, let's watch the D-line and see what they do now. Just because I love the trenches, man. They're fun to watch.
It's the best. It's the best part of football, man.
All right. Well, Ron, why don't we give him a good old-fashioned bear down and we'll get out of here.
Bear down, baby.
Bear down.